Good morning, boys and girls. Today we are doing lesson 13.5 in math, and it's fractions and decimals on a number line. Okay? So the very first thing that I want to review with you is I want to review what the places are like when you read a decimal. Okay? So if you look up here at my example up here, you have 0.91. Okay? The 9, it's right next to this decimal point. That 9 is in the tenths place. Okay? The 1, that's 2 away from the decimal, that's in the hundredths place. Okay? Just so you know that whenever you see that decimal, that number right after, right to the right of that decimal point, that's the tenths place. Okay? So you would read this decimal. Actually, this is 91 hundredths. Okay, that's how you would read that decimal. But today's lesson is fractions and decimals on a number line. Okay, so you're going to see an example like the one right here. And the question that they're going to give you is, which fraction represents the location of point Q? So you're going to have to actually name the fraction for that. Okay. Well, how do you do that? Okay. The very first thing that you need to do is you need to see how many equal parts this number line is broken down into. So you would count that. Let's do that. Okay. You never count the 0. You start here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is broken into 10 equal parts. Okay, so when I'm thinking of a fraction, I know, boys and girls, that it's going to have, you're going to have, and where can I write this? Let's see, let's write this down here. 10 is going to be my denominator. I know that because this is broken into 10 equal parts. So now all I have to do is count to see where Q is on the number line. Well, let's do that. 1, this is 1. This is 2, this is 3, this is 4. 4, that Q is at 4. And like I said, I know this is already broken down into tenths, my denominator. So the 4 is where Q's at. The fraction that this, the fraction on this number line where Q is 4 tenths. And that's how you would figure that out, okay? All right, and let's do another one. They're going to give you a question like this. They're going to say, and let me just erase this. Okay, and I'm going to erase that so it doesn't confuse you, and I'll erase this. They're going to give you a question like this. Down here, they're going to say, here's another number line. And I can see that there is a point here, and it's labeled Z, okay? The question is, now they're going to say which decimal represents the location of point Z. So now you have to write it into decimal form. Well, how are you going to solve that? It's still the same, boys and girls. The very, very first thing that you have to do is you have to count and see how many equal parts there are. So let's do that, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is 10. This is broken into 10 equal parts, okay? So now what you're going to have to do, and that light might be bothering you. Let me just drop this here. That might make it easier to see the board. Yeah, I think it does. Okay, so now this is broken down into 10 equal parts. Okay, so I know, boys and girls, that now if it's 10 equal parts, this fraction, this decimal is going to be in tenths. Why? 10 equal parts, tenths. So now I just have to find out where point Z is. Well, point Z is at 7. So this answer here is 7 tenths, 0.7. Remember that when the number right to the right of the decimal point, that's the tenths place. So this is how you would write 7 tenths. Okay? So that's how you're going to do that one. Now the next one I have for you, they're going to give you a question like this. Right here. Here's one right here. They're going to say, name the fraction at point B. So now they want you to write a fraction, okay? So the one that's at point B. Well, again, the very, very first thing you have to do, boys and girls, is you have to count how many equal parts this number line is broken down into. So let's do that. Ready? We've got, here's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is broken into 6 equal parts, so I know 6th is my denominator, okay? Well, where is this at? Where's B at? They want you to name B. Well, B is at 3. So 1, 2, 3. So this fraction, B is at 3/6. You're going to go look at your quick check, and 3/6 will not be there. Why? Because you can simplify this. So what you're going to have to do is right away you should see that you can divide these by 3. Okay? And when I do that, I'm going to say, what number times 3 gives me 3? Well, I know that's 1. 1 times 3 is 3. What number times 3 gives me 6? Well, I know that's 2. 2 times 3 equals 6. My fraction and the answer that will be on the quick check is going to be 1/2 right here. Okay? So remember, after you figure out your fraction, if it can be simplified, you have to do that. All right? So I hope this helps you. Any questions, you can reach out to me. Thanks.